This is Chapter 9, Part 5. Please remember that this lecture is supplemental to the textbook. Adolescence. Adolescence is the transitional stage between late childhood and the beginning of adulthood. Physical and sexual development. Puberty is the stage of adolescence in which an individual reaches sexual maturity and becomes physiologically capable of sexual reproduction. Although there is great individual variation in timing, puberty tends to follow a predictable sequence for each sex. Primary sex characteristics. Internally, puberty involves the development of the primary sex characteristics, which are the sexual organs that are directly involved in reproduction, such as the uterus and testes. Externally, development of the secondary sex characteristics, which are not directly involved in reproduction, signal increasing sexual maturity. These include changes in height, weight, and body shape, appearance of body hair, voice changes, and in girls, breast development. The period of marked acceleration in weight and height gains, called the adolescent growth spurt, occurs about 2 years earlier in females than males. A female's first menstrual period, termed Menarche, typically occurs around age 12 or 13. There are factors affecting the timing of puberty. Both genetics and environmental factors play a role in the timing of puberty. Girls often experience menarche at about the same age as their mothers did. Generally, well-nourished and healthy children begin puberty earlier than do children who have experienced serious health problems or inadequate nutrition. In general, heavy children begin puberty earlier than do lean children, and girls involved in physically demanding athletic activity can experience delays in menarche. The absence of the biological father in the home environment is linked to accelerated physical development. Negative and stressful family environments are associated with an earlier onset of puberty, while positive family environments are associated with later physical development. Early versus late maturation. Most adolescents are on time. Maturational changes are occurring at roughly the same time for them as did others in their peer group. For girls, early maturation is associated with a greater risk for a variety of negative health and psychological outcomes, such as poor body image, higher rates of teenage pregnancy, and unhealthy weight gain later in life. Early maturing boys tend to be popular with their peers, but they are also more susceptible to behaviors that put their health at risk. They are also more prone to symptoms of depression, problems at school, and drug and alcohol use. Social development. As a general rule, when parent-child relationships have been good before adolescence, they continue to be relatively smooth during adolescence. Relationships with friends and peers become increasingly important. Peer relationships tend to reinforce the traits and goals that parents fostered during childhood. There is often conflict between adolescents and their parents. Many developmental psychologists view the increased conflict in early and middle adolescence as healthy, a necessary stage in the adolescent's development of increased independence and autonomy. Cross-cultural research suggests that parent-adolescent conflict is a common dimension of family life in both individualistic and collectivistic cultures. Even within cultural and ethnic groups that traditionally emphasize parental authority, adolescents are motivated to assert their independence and developing autonomy. Identity is a person's definition or description of himself or herself, including the values, beliefs, and ideals that guide the individual's behavior. Psychoanalyst Erik Erickson proposed a theory of psychosocial development consisting of 8 stages of life, each associated with a particular psychosocial conflict that can be resolved in either a positive or negative direction. According to Erickson, the key psychosocial conflict facing adolescents is identity versus role confusion. The adolescent's path to successful identity achievement begins with role confusion. This is followed by a moratorium period. Gradually, the adolescent arrives at an integrated identity. Research has generally supported Erickson's description of the process of identity formation. This concludes this part of Chapter 9.